I had been looking forward to this trip for weeks. My son and we had plans, big plans. But the moment I walked into the airport, something felt off. The place was packed, people rushing in every direction, announcements echoing over the loudspeakers, the smell of coffee, the buzz of suitcases rolling across the floor. But in all that noise, there was silence, a silence that made my stomach drop. I glanced around. My son wasn't there, not at the gate, not by the ticket counter, nowhere. My heart started pounding so fast I thought it might burst. I called his name louder than I should have, hoping someone nearby might recognize him. But the crowd just flowed around me, strangers staring, whispering. My suitcase felt heavy in my hands, not just from clothes, but from the sudden weight of confusion, fear, and humiliation. Why wasn't he here? I had double-checked the flight, confirmed everything. I tried to calm myself. Maybe he was just late, maybe stuck at security. I told myself that. But deep down, a chilling thought crept in. What if he left me? On purpose? My phone buzzed. I froze. A text. My hands trembled as I opened it, and that's when my world stopped. He was gone, and he hadn't even waited for me. For a second, I couldn't breathe. People were walking past, some glancing curiously, some looking concerned. I was frozen in the middle of the airport, suitcase in hand, heart racing, with strangers' eyes on me, feeling completely abandoned. And in that moment, I realized something terrifying. I had no idea why he did this.
Before anyone judges what happened that day at the airport, you need to understand one thing. My son and I weren't distant. We weren't strangers. He was my world. From the day he was born, my life slowly rearranged itself around him. Late nights, early mornings, skipped meals, missed dreams. None of it mattered. Every sacrifice felt worth it when I saw him smile. I was the one who stayed up when he was sick, the one who waited in the car during his classes, the one who clapped the loudest at events where no one else showed up. We talked about everything, his fears, his dreams, his plans for the future. I always believed that no matter how old he got, I'd still be someone he trusted, someone he respected. That's why this trip mattered so much to me. It wasn't just a flight. It felt like a moment we were supposed to share, a memory. But if I'm being honest, things hadn't felt the same lately. He'd become distant. Short replies, less eye contact, conversations that used to flow easily now felt rushed, forced. Whenever I asked questions, he'd brush them off with, "Don't worry about it." I told myself it was normal. Kids grow up, they pull away. That's life, right? Still, there were moments that bothered me. Last-minute changes, vague answers, that strange look on his face whenever the trip came up. I ignored my instincts, because when you love someone deeply, you don't want to believe they're capable of hurting you. Standing alone at that airport, all those memories came flooding back at once. Every sacrifice, every promise, every moment I chose him over myself. And the question that kept echoing in my head was simple. How could someone I gave everything to leave me like this? My hands were still shaking when I looked down at my phone again. I didn't want to, but I had to. There it was, a message from my son. Short, cold, no explanation. He had already boarded the flight. For a moment, I thought I was reading it wrong. I read it again. Then again, my chest tightened, my ears started ringing. Boarded. Without me. I looked around the airport, hoping, almost begging, that I would suddenly see him running toward me, waving, laughing, telling me this was all some mistake. But nothing happened. The boarding announcement echoed through the hall. Final call. That's when the truth hit me. He didn't forget me. He didn't get delayed. He made a choice. People nearby began to notice. A woman slowed her steps, staring at my face. A man glanced at my suitcase, then at me, then quickly looked away. I felt exposed, small, like my pain was on display for everyone to see. I tried calling him, straight to voicemail. Again and again. No answer. My mind raced through 1,000 thoughts. Did I do something wrong? Was I a burden to him now? Was I embarrassing? The worst part wasn't being left behind. It was realizing that he didn't even look back. I stood there, surrounded by strangers, holding back tears, asking myself a question I never imagined I'd ask. Did my own son feel ashamed of me? As I stood there, replaying that message in my head, something else began to happen. Memories. Small moments I had brushed aside before. His behavior before the trip suddenly didn't feel random anymore. The way he avoided long conversations, how he kept checking his phone when I talked, how every time I mentioned the airport, his expression changed, just for a second. I had asked him simple questions. He gave me unclear answers. I trusted him anyway. Now I was paying for that trust. I walked over to the ticket counter, hoping someone could help me. Maybe there was a mistake. Maybe his boarding pass had the wrong time. The staff looked at the screen, then looked at me. Their silence said more than words ever could. He was gone. I felt the pressure building inside my chest. My throat tightened. I couldn't tell if I was angry, scared, or just completely broken. I tried calling again. Voicemail. Again. Nothing. Every second felt heavier. The airport felt colder, louder, more unforgiving. People moved freely around me while I felt trapped in one moment I couldn't escape. That's when doubt turned into something darker. What if this wasn't an accident at all? What if he planned it? I didn't want to believe that thought, but it refused to leave. And just when I thought I couldn't feel more exposed, I saw him. I didn't imagine him. He was really there. Across the terminal, near another gate, I saw my son. Not rushing, not worried, laughing. He was standing with a few people around his age, relaxed, smiling, as if nothing in the world was wrong, as if he hadn't just shattered me. Something inside me snapped. I grabbed my suitcase and walked toward him, my legs shaking with every step. My heart was pounding so loudly I could barely hear anything else. When he finally noticed me, his smile faded, but only for a moment. I said his name. He sighed. Not relief, not concern, annoyance. I asked him why he left without me. My voice came out weaker than I wanted. People nearby slowed down, sensing tension. He didn't lower his voice. He didn't explain. He looked at me and said the words that still echo in my head. I didn't think you'd actually come. That sentence hit harder than anything else. It wasn't just rude. It wasn't just cruel. It was rejection. I felt my face burn. A couple standing nearby stopped pretending not to listen. Someone behind me cleared their throat awkwardly. I wanted to scream. I wanted to cry. Instead, I stood there, humiliated, exposed, realizing that whatever this was, it wasn't a misunderstanding anymore. And just as I opened my mouth to say something I might never be able to take back, someone behind me spoke my name. I froze. I slowly turned around, my heart still racing, expecting another stare, another stranger judging me. But instead, I saw someone I didn't recognize. A man, calm, steady, holding a piece of paper in his hand. And he had said my name. At first, I thought I was imagining it. I asked him how he knew me. My voice was shaking. He looked genuinely surprised by my reaction. Then he explained, quietly, carefully, that he worked near the ticket counter. He had seen my name earlier. He held up the paper. A boarding pass. My boarding pass. I stared at it, confused. I hadn't lost it, I was sure of that. The stranger explained that there had been a mix-up at the counter earlier that morning. 2 similar names, 2 flights leaving close together, 1 small mistake. As he spoke, the noise of the airport faded into the background. I could barely breathe. Then he said something that changed everything. My son hadn't boarded thinking he was leaving me behind. He believed I was already on another flight. I looked at my son. For the first time, his confidence cracked. The balance shifted. The anger I had been carrying suddenly felt heavier, but different, confused, unstable. Was this really a betrayal, or had something gone terribly wrong? The stranger wasn't finished yet. He said there was more. The stranger took a slow breath and looked between me and my son. People had started to notice. Not stare, but listen. He explained everything clearly, step by step. The similar names, the overlapping flights, the moment my boarding pass was printed and then mistakenly set aside. My son had been told, confidently, that I was already cleared for another gate, that I would meet him after landing. As those words settled in, I felt something crack inside me. Not anger, not pain. Relief mixed with exhaustion. I looked at my son. His face had changed completely. The arrogance was gone. So was the defensiveness. He finally understood what that moment at the gate had looked like from my side. An elderly parent, alone, surrounded by strangers, thinking they had been abandoned. His eyes dropped. Shame replaced confidence. The people nearby shifted uncomfortably. What had looked like family drama was now something else entirely. A quiet tragedy caused by one careless mistake and one cruel sentence spoken too quickly. My son tried to speak, but his voice failed him. That was the moment everything became clear. The misunderstanding, the damage, the truth. But clarity didn't erase the hurt. It only explained it. The airport slowly returned to normal. People moved on. Announcements continued. But for us, time felt different. My son finally looked at me, not with impatience or confidence, but with regret. He apologized, not quickly, not casually. The kind of apology that comes when someone understands the weight of what they've done. He admitted that even if it had been a mistake, his words had been cruel. That sentence, spoken without thought, had caused real damage. I didn't respond right away. I needed a moment, because forgiveness isn't automatic. It's a choice. I told him how it felt standing there alone, how small I felt, how deeply it hurt to believe that the person I trusted most could walk away without looking back. He listened, really listened. That was the difference. We didn't magically fix everything in that airport, but something important happened. We faced the truth together. Later, as I walked away with my suitcase, I realized something. I had survived the humiliation. I had kept my dignity, and I had spoken my pain instead of swallowing it. That mattered. Sometimes justice doesn't come with shouting or punishment. Sometimes it comes with being seen and finally being understood. And as painful as that day was, I left the airport with one thing I thought I'd lost forever: my self-respect. If you've ever felt abandoned, misunderstood, or hurt by someone you love, this channel is for you. Subscribe and share this story with someone who needs it today.